Many people wonder, who would win, a samurai or a knight? Let's look at both sides and their reasonings for who would win. Starting with the samurai. Many people believe samurai armor is much lighter than knight armor, therefore granting the samurai enhanced speed over the knight. Though this depends on a multitude of factors, as there is many different types of armor for both Japan and Europe. To make this more simple, we will focus on stereotypical samurai armor and stereotypical knight armor. What I mean by stereotypical is the type of armor people imagine when thinking about one of these warriors. For example, when asked to imagine a samurai, you'll most likely imagine a warrior wearing Tosei Gusoku. Is this what you imagined? Maybe, maybe not. But the truth is, this is what most people think of when they hear the word samurai. Let us not forget about the knights, for we must determine their armor as well. When people think of knights, they imagine big tin cans. More so, full-plate armor such as Gothic plate armor. This is what most people imagine, Gothic plate. Perhaps you didn't. Now, like I said, there is lots of factors to put into account. But to make this even simpler, let's imagine the two most popular weapons. The stereotypical samurai sword, the well-known katana, and the sword recognized as most knightly, the longsword. Finally, after all that, we've got our comparisons ready for both sides. A samurai wearing Tosei Gusoku whilst wielding a katana, and a knight wearing Gothic plate whilst wielding a longsword. Now, back to our first claim. Many people believe that samurai are faster than knights. This is true. A samurai would be faster, but only slightly. It wouldn't be noticeable at all. A samurai and knight running beside each other would look as if they are running at the same speed. Many people believe samurai were much more skilled than knights. Now, this is just not true and blatantly ignorant. Knights were generally trained much more systematically than samurai were. For samurai, it greatly depended on how their master trained them. There really was no overall system, even though their way of training was different. That does not mean one warrior was more skilled than the other. Many people believe the katana is the height of sword technology. Now, this is because of fiction like manga and anime. Of course, the katana is not the best sword. There is no best sword, but there are swords that are generally better. The longsword is generally better than the katana, since it is much more versatile, has greater reach, and is trustworthy in most situations. Now, I am not saying the katana is a bad sword, for that is not the case at all. Both the katana and the longsword were made for very different reasons. The katana was more so a symbol of status and designed for casual carry, whereas the longsword was designed for war. But the longsword generally does most things better in terms of reach, versatility, and overall use. Now, let us get to the real question here. Who would win? A samurai adorn in Tosei Gusoku wielding a katana, or a knight dressed in Gothic plate, wielding a longsword? Clearly, it would be the knight, for he has better reach, better protection, and overall better technology. Now, you're probably thinking this is an ignorant way to answer the question of who would win. But I think not. For everything I mentioned is generally true throughout history, for knights had more advanced arms and armor. Now, the true answer is knights would always have the battle in their favor. It doesn't determine who would win, but it does determine who's most likely to win. If you made it this far, I appreciate your time. Please read the description below if you will. This is the end of my talk. Thank you for watching.